We are looking at enhancing the number hunt project from the YByte Python curriculum available at www.ybyte.in. Now, whenever we enhance projects, we think about some ideas that could make the project more interesting. For example, look at the class project. Basically, the game starts with picking up a number between 1 and 100. Now, it turns out that each number is as likely to be picked as any other number. So it's really uniform between 1 and 100. Sometimes it picks 20, sometimes 85, sometimes 73, and so on and so forth. Can I somehow challenge this assumption? I say, okay, look, can I somehow make numbers, let's say between 51 and 100 more likely? Or something even more extreme. Let's say I say, okay, there's a 90% chance that the chosen number is between, say, 91 and 100. And hence, there's a 10% chance that the chosen number is, say, between 1 and 90. Now, all these numbers are just arbitrary. But clearly, if the numbers are not uniformly distributed, the way you will guess will change. Because if I tell you there's a 90% chance that the number is between, let's say, 91 and 100, then, you will obviously try to guess more in the 91 and 100 zone, right? So that will change the way the game works. In general, it's quite interesting to think about this. So how do we do this? I'm going to look at it in this video. let's take some let's take a few examples and maybe generalize it a little bit. So for example, let's say I want to decide a number between 1 and 100, call it b. I want x% chance that the number is in this range 1 to b, and hence 100 minus x% chance that the number is between b plus 100. For example, let's say b is 10, x equals to 90. I want a 90% chance of getting number between 1 and 10, and a very small chance of getting number between 11 and 100. So which means the number is generally very, very small. Very occasionally do I get a number, let's say between 11 and 100. In this case, it will be better to get smaller numbers. One more example, let's say I say 50. So in which case I say, okay, x is 75. I want 75% chance of getting number between 1 and 50. 25% chance of getting a number between 51 and 100. So again, a small chance of getting large numbers, right? So now the number of possibilities are just immense. We will just look at one specific case, which is good enough for us just to kind of trigger us thinking, and then you can think of more, such variations on how this can be done. Let's say, so the question is, how do I accomplish this? Well, really, it's very simple. If I just generate the number in 2 steps. So what I'll do is that, remember in my class, I just look random.random, say 1 to 100. But what I will do now is that I'll say, okay, let me first generate a number called temp. Let's say again between 1 and 100. I put a condition that if temp is more than 90, then go and generate the second number, which is the one that we are going to use between 1 and 90. Now, this is actually very interesting. Look at this. Temp was equally likely to be between 1 and 100 anywhere, which means that the chances that temp is more than 90 is in fact 10%. And why is that? Because 90% of time temp will be less than 90, 10% of time temp will be more than 90. If that happens, I'd say, okay, let me generate a number between 1 and 90. In other words, what I'm saying is that, look, there's a 10% chance that I will get n to be between 1 and 90. There is a 90% chance that n will become between 91 and 100. So in this example, I've used b equals to 90. So the number b, an x% chance. So x% chance that the number is between, let's say, 10% chance the number is between 1 and 90. 100 minus x, or say 90% chance that number is between 91 and 100. Let's see this in action, and then we can look at a more general formula. So I come in here, remember, let's say I'm printing this number. I just go and say, okay, look, let me not generate this n in just one step. I say, look, say n is random.rand, say int 1 to 100. Now I put a condition that, if say temp is greater than 90, again, this could be more general, so I say n is equal to random dot rand int, let's say 1 to 90. Else I say n is equal to random dot rand int, say 91 to 100. So basically, okay, so this is a mistake, so like I said, 90% chance that I'll end up with, with a number which is between 91 and 100. And I'm going to just say print n. Now, when I do this, it's actually quite interesting. Notice I'm first printing n in the beginning, and then once again after this. Let's compare these two numbers after a few runs. So when I run this, notice I got a 6 over here, I got a 94. Let's run this again. This time I got 100, I got 84 and 98. Now, clearly you can see that it's a lot more likely to get something between 91 and 100 here, because in fact, there's 90% likelihood that the number is between 91 and 100. Whereas the other one is showing me a lot more variation, which is understood. Now, this time something reverse happened. I got 98 for the first one, 14 for the second one. Fair enough, that can always happen. But, more likely than not, as you can see, I'll end up with, a number more than 90 here. Now you can do this more rigorously. You can actually plot the statistics of this and see this is indeed happening, but I hope this gives you an idea. In fact, in general, if I were to look at it more generally, if I want to get X% chance of getting the number between 1 and B, then I'll put temp is more than 100 minus X, and then basically random 1 to B, otherwise B plus 1 to say 100, or the upper limit. Now, uh, this is, like I said, just the tip of the iceberg. In fact, it's very important many times in projects, in different kind of works, to generate numbers which have different distributions. So here we have taken like some kind of extremes, very simple. This is a very, very interesting field in itself. There's lots of ways to do this. This is just one of the many ideas. You can try and generalize this thing. So you can say, okay, I'll have many different steps. Each will have different probability of getting the number in that range, and that will all be pretty cool. I hope you found this interesting. And in general, if you think that this way of learning is fun for you, do look at our website, because we have many, many, many such activities. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye bye.